So I'm David Gibson. Welcome back to another episode with CoSIDA Thank Your SID Week. I'm with Morgan Sheehan of UNC Pembroke. Morgan, hi. Thank you very much for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. Let's kind of go back to what this whole week is all about. For a lot of people, it is thanking themselves. A lot of people, it is thanking the other people that work in the office with you, and for some, it might be thanking others that have kind of come along the way. So, firstly, the kind of first question I wanted to ask you is, why do you think this week is important, and how important is it to you to be able to tell the SID story?
This is an important week, and I think it took me a little bit getting in the profession to realize that this is a thankless job, and that's not a knock on this profession, but I think SIDs do a lot of work behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about, and it's stuff that sometimes other people don't want to do, but it's part of what we do, and I think I personally take a lot of pride in that because I don't need to be thanked to do a good job. I don't need to be thanked to do my job, but it is nice when somebody does recognize, whether it's a coach or an athlete or someone else in athletics or the university as a whole that says, thanks so much for doing what you do. We really couldn't do this without you. And it also just gives us a chance to tell the student athlete story and sometimes build relationships with athletes that maybe I learned something about an athlete that nobody else would know, and it's a great feature story, and we can share that. But like I said, it's a thankless job, but at the same time, it's so worth it. So I think this is an awesome week to really tell all the SIDs, thank you for what you do. We as SIDs realize what everyone else does, but sometimes others don't. So, I can't say thank you to all the other people in this profession enough.
And we'll get to your thanks later, but how do you kind of communicate what you do to your student athletes? I mean, how are you visible with them?
I'm at every home event. Since we're a Division II school, we don't necessarily travel with every team. I have the option to, and things are a little challenging and different right now with the COVID situation, but I'm at every home game. I feel like I make my presence known even just around campus, but a lot of people know me as a person who does the stats because I am the statter at most of our home games. My boss, Todd Anderson, he handles baseball and football, and wrestling as well. But as far as, both of us are always seen, we're always together, and we work really well together. So I'm usually the person who is behind the computer, making sure everybody's stats are right, double checking at the end of the game, and if there's any mistakes, we don't mind fixing them because we're humans and we're going to make mistakes in general.
Yeah, that seems to be a lot of things that people need to have kind of come out of this pandemic. I think that the thing is you kind of came out either like a stud, a slug, or something else. But I think one thing that people are a little bit more of when they came out of this is more forgiving of themselves too. I mean, do you find that to be true?
I do, and I think too during the whole pandemic it made me realize to not feel guilty about spending time with family and being away because, anybody who's in this profession or college athletics in general knows that off time really does not happen. So for us getting a chance to work from home, obviously nobody wanted to go through a pandemic or anything like this, but when we get the chance to work from home and to still do what we do and still have a job, we're very fortunate that we can spend time with family, obviously being safe and all of that. But forgiving, I would definitely agree on that. And like I said, just not feeling guilty about things and taking a step away because everybody needs a refresh. And in college athletics, sometimes you don't really get that reset button.
No, you definitely talked about refresh a little bit. So what's it like kind of being back in the office for you guys especially?
It's been nice to see some faces again and, have that interaction on a daily basis. We're still limited right now with the student athletes that are back. We're kind of transitioning now and getting most of our athletes back. The only sport we had in the fall was cross country. So we only had one competing team, which makes for a very busy winter and spring, hopefully. But, you kind of take that with a grain of salt and just roll with it because you're very thankful that athletics are back. But it's nice to see the student athletes again. I think all of them are extremely eager to be back and to be competing and really just competing you could be competing for nothing, but knowing that you have the chance to get back out there and compete is something huge.
I kind of mentioned it earlier that we were going to get to your thanks. So who would you like to thank in this profession as we wind it down here?
I would definitely like to thank my boss, Todd Anderson. Without him, I don't think I would be in this profession. He really took a chance on me, and he took a chance on someone who knew athletics and definitely loved athletics, but didn't know a lot about the athletic communication side of things. And I mean, he's worked with me, and he's really gotten me to where I feel confident about my job, and that I do know my stuff. And so I've told Todd many times that I will never be able to repay him for everything that he's done for me. And I mean, even when I was a student athlete here, he was always someone I could count on. I worked for him when I was a student athlete here. So Todd, without you, I definitely would not be here. So thank you so much for all that you do for UNCP athletics and for myself.
All right, awesome. Well, again, I'm David Gibson here with Morgan Sheehan. Morgan, thank you very much for coming on. We all really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.